you know that like sometimes it doesn't make any sense, and sometimes you can feel like you're doing all the things right and all the things that you're supposed to do, and it still just comes on at you out of nowhere. So that's why I wanted to come and share my little tips and tricks with you guys. So first of all, I wanted to share just general stuff. Oh, here's my cat. Just general stuff that I practice in my life to keep my anxiety at bay and to keep it under control. Now, basically, I avoid sugar because it just does not awesome things for my anxiety. And I used to still have quite a lot of natural sugars in my diet, so even like natural honey, natural maple syrup, that kind of thing. Oh, my mom's on. Hi, mommy. I hope you're having good holidays. I used to still incorporate some natural sugars into my diet very regularly, but I just kind of decided, you know what, like I'm just not going to do that because anything to help, right? Anything to help. So sugars, coffee is a really big one. And I know that that's a hard pill to swallow because a lot of people love coffee, but coffee is a stimulant. Caffeine is a stimulant. And so if you are an anxiety ridden person, like it just doesn't make any sense. I haven't had caffeinated coffee since January of this year because that day I had coffee and it sent me into just anxiety. And I just finally said, fuck this. I'm done. I don't need this anymore. Hi, Jess. Hi, Colette. Um, Even sometimes I have to be careful with some fruit. Now, I know that sounds crazy, and that's something you'll have to do trial and error with. I know for myself, when I have fruit, if I have it with carbs and fat at the same time, my body metabolizes it properly, I'm good to go. Heidi's just saying she lives off of coffee. And you know what? That's totally normal. Like, for a young, like a mom like you with two young kids at home, like you're just trying to survive, right? But, I know that for myself, it has been so much more beneficial for me to not be having it. Amy's asking if I drink caffeinated tea. Yes, I do drink green tea. However, if my anxiety is already feeling revved up and I can kind of feel it, I'll avoid green tea even because even that will kind of make me start feeling crazy brain. It's kind of one of those things you need to do trial and error. I'm just telling you guys what I know and what works for me. And like Bo is just here being super cute. Okay. Alcohol. Alcohol is a really big one for me. Not so much anxiety if I am to have a drink. However, probably if I were go out in the evening or something like that and have two or three drinks or more than that, it affects me for probably 3 days. I'm cranky, I'm irritable, I'm snappy, and my anxiety is just buzzing. And I've kind of gotten to the point where, I don't drink that much anymore just because it's just not serving me and it doesn't make me feel good and it turns me like into the kind of person that I just don't like being. So, do I still enjoy a glass of wine? I love spiced rum every once in a while, of course, but I just have to know that I might be making that sacrifice to not really be my best self those next couple of days. So thank you so much, you guys, for tuning on. If you can hear me good, if my connection's good, show me a little bit of love on the side there. Oh, Happy likes my hat. Thanks, girl. Another big one, if sleep. Oh my goodness. And this is like me talking to myself. Get more sleep. Sleep is such a big factor. If I'm not sleeping well, then I know. Obviously, exercise. Exercise is 110%. And I say this in a joking way, but I honestly mean it. The fact that I exercise daily is probably the reason that I have not been like institutionalized or had to take like a stress leave from work or exercise every damn day. Does that mean that you have to go like run 10 miles or do like 20 hours of HIIT training. No, not at all. It just means like something to get your heart rate up and something that makes you feel good. Even if you're just going for a walk, even if you're going kayaking, pushing your babies in a stroller. Maybe I should get a cat stroller for my cats. Anyways, that's probably my number one. If I'm kind of feeling a bit anxiety ridden, I guess, just like calm, relaxing music. Sometimes I find that the super like fun, bubbly pump up stuff that I like to listen to just like isn't good for me if I'm really in an anxious state. So just like I'll go on Spotify, or even you can just go on YouTube or whatever and just search like spa music or relaxing music or whatever, and stuff will come up. Now I am going to give you my tips for what to do when you feel an anxiety or a panic attack coming on. And this is something that, you have to work at this all the time in order for you to really feel like you have control over it. But these are the things that I do. If I feel myself getting panicky and starting to get that like loss of breath and my brain starts spinning and I start getting hot, the first thing that you need to do is chill the fuck out. Stop what you're doing. Like just, if you're running around your house, if you're like whatever you're doing, just stop and just breathe. Just take some breaths, slow your mind down. What I have found that has worked really well for me, and even sometimes I'll say it out loud because a calm, relaxing voice helps. I'll just like inhale and exhale. So like 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, just in and out, maybe 10 times, and just slow your breathing, slow your mind down. And just stop and just kind of look at, okay, why am I feeling this way? What is making me feel this way? And it might just be that you've got a million things going on in your head and they're suddenly catching up to you. And if that's what it is, just stop. Stop and read, stop and put the TV on, or stop and put some relaxing music on, and just very calmly do whatever you got to do. Now, I know sometimes what happens for me is in specific situations when I'm made to somebody says something to me, or an action that makes me, brings up feelings, from my past, that like muscle memory type of thing. Like if I feel like someone's telling me that I'm, not good enough at something, or that I'm doing something wrong, that really stirs that in me. So sometimes that happens, like, for example, with my husband when we're talking or we're doing something or whatever, and that's not his intention at all to make me feel like I don't know what I'm doing, but because of things that have happened to me in my past, that's the immediate reaction that comes up. And so then I'll start getting worked up and I'll start da-da-da-da-da-da, and I just have to stop myself and remember that, like, that's not the reality. That's not the reality. And I just have to like pull myself out of that place. Now, if you really feel something coming on, sit down, put your head between your knees, and just breathe. Sometimes what happens to me is I will get very, very sound sensitive. And this is what happened to me this weekend, where it feels like everything is just like rushing through my brain, and it's like piercing into me, and like every little noise makes me want to punch you in the face. And so when that happens, again, just lay down, sit down. What I did this Saturday, I got home from work and that's how I was feeling. Keith was emptying the dishwasher, and just the noise of the cutlery banging together was like so high frequency for me. And we were going to leave to go to a friend's place, and I just said to Keith, you know what? I'm not feeling like myself. I'm feeling really buzzy. I need to go lay down. For 10 or 20 minutes. And so I did. I laid down, and this is a really good tip. Wrap yourself up really, really tight in like a cozy blanket, because that pressure and that like just being encompassed in this warm, cozy environment makes you feel really, really safe. Sometimes what else I'll do is put a pillow on your head, so you just have that pressure from all sides, and it seems to work. On Saturday, Keith and I called it the anxiety burrito. So I'm going to call it that from now on. So put yourself in an anxiety burrito and just be cozy and just breathe and just relax. Let yourself be in silence. Lavender oil is also really good just for relaxing to have beside your bed. Dab a little bit on your temples, breathe it in. One thing that I also learned to do is meditative breathing. Now, I'm not like, I don't know a lot about it. I'm not like, it's not like I'm sitting there doing it for 30 minutes, but last year, I downloaded an app that was free. It's called Headspace. So write this down. It's called Headspace, and it does like, I think 7 or 10 days of guided meditation. So it kind of teaches you how to do it. So you just listen to it, and it teaches you how to breathe properly, and it teaches you just how to like relax yourself. So I actually do this every night before I go to bed. If I wake up in the middle of the night, and when I'm feeling that anxiety, I do my meditative breathing, and I fucking swear by it. It is amazing. And again, that calm music. Now, for those of you that have a spouse or a partner or your family or whatever, the most important thing to do is to communicate with them how you are feeling, because like we don't even understand what's going on in our own head, so we can't expect them to like figure it out either, seriously. And so when I started realizing how good it was when I would just communicate to Keith how I was feeling, and that like, I'm having a really off day, I'm feeling anxiety today, I'm feeling really buzzy, that just kind of let him know that I was on edge. And that doesn't always mean that like, we can still get snippety or we can still whatever, but it just, that communication is such a big factor in dealing with all of this. And it's really, really made a big difference. And not only that, but talking about it afterwards. If you had, a panic attack or anxiety and you felt like you guys dealt with it really well, talk about it. This weekend, I had come home and this situation happened, and, my husband and I, we communicated and we dealt with it really well. And we drove to the cabin, or we drove to a friend's place in the Jeep with the windows down, and I had my headphones on the whole drive so that the sound was blocked out, and, whatever. And I was like so proud, and we did so good. And it was like, yeah, go power couple. And then the next day we had this fun pool party at our friend's place, and I was feeling so good. And I kept saying to Keith, I'm feeling so good today. And then on the way home in the Jeep, it all of a sudden just hit me again, like boom, like a freight train. And I was just like, you need to turn the music down. And I like grabbed the headphones and I put them on, and I kind of started panicking. And he was like, Steph, like, what are you talking about? Like, I want to listen to this music, and you said you were fine, and now you're suddenly not fine. And I was like, no, I'm not fucking fine. Like, turn the music down, And it kind of turned into, maybe a situation where we didn't communicate properly and we didn't handle it very well. And that's just how we learn. And then we talk about that afterwards. Like, okay, are we proud of how we handled that situation? Okay, maybe not. Hopefully we'll have redemption the next time. But that's just how you learn, right? And you have to talk about those things, because like, you and your partner are in this together, or you and your parents, or you and your family, or your friends are there to support you, or your coworkers. It's okay to be open about it, and it's okay to share. Because that's like the only way you can figure this out, Another thing that has been so important is just like making sure that you're eating high quality foods. I know that sounds crazy, but what I've realized in my research is that what the chemical that your brain releases is called serotonin, that makes you happy. Often people that have depression and anxiety, they don't produce serotonin properly. And I have learned that there are actually more serotonin receptors in your gut than there are in your brain. And that is insane. So if you think about it, if you don't have a healthy gut and you're not fueling your body and you're not putting good stuff in it, those serotonin receptors are not going to be picking up on anything good.